Hi there, my name is Justin Hofstadler, and I'm going to be telling you a story about something that has been just very important in my life. Without this thing, I would not have come to Colorado and gone to CSU or found my passion for photography and video. So, the story would start off, I would say, about the age of like 14 or 15. I just fell in love with cars. I just loved everything about them. I've just been a huge fan ever since. And my dream car at the time was a Mustang. I really, really wanted a 2005 Mustang GT. And I was saving my money for about, like maybe 4 or 5 years. I was saving my money just to get a Mustang. I really wanted a Mustang. And my dad had a really cool way of paying me for yard work. Instead of paying me in cash, he would pay me in stocks, which was awesome. So I've been investing since like the age of maybe 10. And my favorite company back then was Apple. So I would invest all the money that he gave me into Apple. And since then, the stocks have gone up a lot. So I was able to afford to pay for part of a car. And my dad had a deal where if I get good grades in high school, he would pay for half of my first car. So I had my sights set on a Mustang and I was ready to do it. And then we went on a family vacation to the Redwood Forest up in Northern California. And we flew in there and landed. We had to rent a car because we needed a car to drive around. And we picked out a 2012 Jeep Wrangler 4-door. And that was my first time ever being in a Jeep before. I'd just seen them on the road a lot. I just never really sat in one or drove one. So this time I was about 16, almost ready to get my license. I was driving my dad's old Mazda. And I was thinking about getting a car at that point. And because we did that trip, we got to drive that Jeep. And I just fell in love with that Jeep. Just instantly. Just the off-road capability. I can go anywhere that I wanted in the world, pretty much, that had dirt roads. Just the adventurer in me just was like, wow, this could be the car. This could be the car right here. And I loved it because you can take the doors off, the windshield can fold down, the whole top comes off. It's like a big dune buggy, pretty much. It's just such a fun car. So after that trip, I was like, okay, screw the Mustang. I want a Jeep now. I don't want a Mustang. I want a Jeep now. So I started searching around the internet for a good Jeep. And they were pretty pricey. They hold their value really well. So with the deal that my dad had with me, I was going to pay half of the cost of the Jeep. So I was looking around. I picked out like a 2003, I think, a Jeep Wrangler. And it was about, I want to say, like $9,000. And we went out there, test drove it. Ran pretty well. But my dad was not a big fan of the safety features. It didn't have passenger airbags or anti-lock brakes. And just seemed a little bit sketchy for something for me to drive. So he didn't feel comfortable with me getting that Jeep. So I did really well that year with grades. And he made a deal. He said, if you liquidate all your shares of stock, sell everything, then I will get you a 2008 Jeep Wrangler 4-door. So it was a little bit of an upgrade. It was a longer wheelbase, extra storage room. Actually had 4 doors, which was nice. And this was a more modern Jeep, so it had, airbags, anti-lock brakes, traction control. It was a much safer vehicle. So he felt that it would be the right thing to do to just buy the newer one. So I got that. I was just top of the world. I was like, yes, I can go anywhere I want. And my Jeep was actually a manual, so it was a 6-speed manual transmission. And I didn't really know how to drive a stick shift at that point. So it was pretty frustrating because I got that new Jeep, I was in love, but I couldn't drive it. I didn't know how to drive a stick shift yet. So I did some just trial and error, I guess. I looked up some YouTube videos. My dad taught me some. And I got the hang of it pretty fast, actually. I was very surprised. I was proud of myself. And so I was in high school still at this time. I was probably a junior, maybe, like probably beginning of junior year. I got that Jeep, and without that Jeep, I would not have gone to Colorado at all for school. My girlfriend at the time was a year above me, so she was a senior, getting ready to graduate. She was applying for schools and everything, and she got accepted at Colorado State University and actually accepted and went to school there. So I went out there to visit one point, my first time ever in Colorado actually. And my friend who was also thinking about going to school there, we went on a tour of campus, and I just fell in love. I just loved the outdoor environment, how close I was to the mountains. Just so many cool trails, and I'm from San Diego originally, so like it's a pretty big city, and we have deserts and forests, but nothing like these mountains. It blows my mind how pretty they are. So let's see. I applied to CSU, accepted, and went to school here, and I've just been loving it ever since. And also with that Jeep, I've been exploring a lot, going to the deserts, Utah, just off-road adventures pretty much. And without this Jeep, I would not have found my love for photography, really. Really, it was Moab, I think, was what made me realize I love photography so much. Because I'm driving through this canyon, it's like, I don't know, maybe 30 miles round trip. I'm just in the middle of nowhere. Just as far as I can see are these cool, like, red rock canyons. It's like I'm in the Grand Canyon, pretty much. And it was just blowing my mind how pretty it was. And my mom actually bought me a camera for Christmas that year. I think it was about, 2015, I think? Yeah, she got me a camera Christmas 2015. And she was a photographer in college and did some professional photography gigs. So she knew all about photography and kind of wanted me to get into it also. And I was like, didn't really see much future in that. So wasn't really into it that much. Then when I got my Jeep and was actually exploring, I got really into landscape photography and astrophotography too. So I would drive out in the middle of nowhere in the desert and take pictures of the Milky Way galaxy or just really cool landscapes. And when I went to CSU, I wasn't really sure what I wanted to do at that point, so I was undeclared officially. And then since I've declared, I'm doing journalism with media communication, so JMC, and it's perfect. And I've pretty much, my Jeep is all I spend my money on. I mean, I've upgraded, I got a new bumper on the front, a winch, I've got chromoly tie rod and drag link, LED headlights, light bar. What did I do? I just got 35-inch tires, lift kit, rock sliders, roof rack. Pretty much all I spend my money on is food, camera gear, and Jeep parts. And it's a great vehicle. I love it, but it's just kind of rough driving every day in that thing. I mean, I'm in love with that, but it gets like 11 miles per gallon. I drove from San Diego all the way to Fort Collins, about a 16-hour drive, and my average fuel economy was 11 miles per gallon. That is brutal on my wallet. I just can't afford that. But I'm in love, so I can't get rid of it. So I'm going to keep it forever, I think. And the ride is pretty rough, pretty noisy with the wind. It's shaped like a brick, so it's not very aerodynamic. It's loud, but I'm in love. It's just the perfect vehicle for me. And without that, I would not have gone to Colorado. I wouldn't have met most of my friends out here. I wouldn't be doing what I love, which is photography and video. I've met so many friends. I helped start the CSU Off-Road Club, the official CSU Off-Road Club, and met some great people in there. It's just, without this Jeep, I don't know where I would be right now, honestly. Like, I probably would not have left the state to go to school. I probably would have been still in somewhere in California. And who knows what my major would be. I mean, I could be doing anything. So I'm very happy that we went on that trip to the Redwood Forest, and we rented that Jeep. And I've just been loving it ever since. I mean, I got adventures planned. Pretty much every break, I'll go to Moab, Utah, or just somewhere around Colorado. I'll pick a new trail and just explore that. And just pairing that with my photography and video skills kind of gives me like a whole new view that other people won't be able to see that don't have off-road capable vehicles. Because I can go further and deeper into the wilderness where most people can't. And also with this, I've kind of expanded on my video capabilities. I've gotten to the drone industry a little bit. So I purchased a pretty nice drone, and I've been flying that around quite a bit. And without my Jeep, I wouldn't have gotten my drone. I mean, I'm like licensed with the FAA, so I can do like commercial videos and everything. I'm just very thankful that my dad wanted to kind of pitch in and get me a safe vehicle, because the older Jeeps were nice, but they weren't very safe. Like, if I were to roll over, I'd probably die. And with this thing, if I roll over, I'd probably be okay. And it just blows my mind how crazy off-road capable this thing is. I've gone off like double black diamond trails that they're hard to walk up, and this thing just crawls right up it. And it's just, I'm in love with it. I mean, I really am. Like, I'll just go on some solo trips and just go car camping for a couple days and just see where the road takes me. And it's just very relaxing to get out away from everything and just be on the road and, just explore. I mean, I found some really cool spots in Utah. I found this hot spring in Monroe, Utah. It's like almost the perfect halfway point between San Diego and Fort Collins. It's about 8 hours there, 8 hours to Fort Collins. And it's got this beautiful hot spring there. It's like a local secret. And I stop there every time I go to and from Colorado, from San Diego. And the owners there's a really cool bed and breakfast there. They know me by name, and they're like, "Oh, Justin's coming back, sweet." And it's just, I just have so many cool experiences and memories because of my Jeep. And I'm just very thankful that I chose to not get the Mustang and get the Jeep instead, because I don't know where I would be, honestly. Yeah, so that's about it. Thank you for listening, and yeah, we'll see you next time. Thank you.